You're going to tweet it out?
Yeah, let me get a second to populate. All right, it is good. All right, we're going live here following UConn and West Virginia. We'll give it a minute here just to get some others onto the stream here. And again, bit.ly.com/postgamewestwv, all lowercase, if you want to call in and vent with us tonight, because tonight's a venting night, Russ.
Yeah, it is, which I didn't expect from tonight. I mean, I should have expected from tonight because
Yeah.
we're at the point now where the team's good enough that any loss is going to frustrate the hell out of you.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to come this way, to come in a game where, UConn's down 2 starters and they're still in position to screw themselves over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is a game, as I know I said to you when we were starting, it's a coulda, shoulda game. That could have won it and should have won this game, even down those 2 starters.
Yeah. They should have. I mean, I don't know what you want to point to. All the missed open threes, a few bad calls, just not executing for shit down the stretch.
Yeah.
2 different plays where they just didn't box out off a missed free throw. There are so many different ways that you could go through this, but no matter which way you slice it, it's a loss and it's a
Yeah.
missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the most frustrating parts, and it went through, I think it was like the 10-minute to 7-minute stretch in the second half, where they were really locking down West Virginia. West Virginia wasn't getting anything off. UConn was turning them over, and they were just sloppy with it in transition. It was just 0 to 100 really quickly, and it led to them turning it over. Either bad passes, just not being able to do anything there.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, credit West Virginia. Like they're one of the best defensive teams in the country, and they
Definitely.
had a lot to do with that. But a lot of it also is on UConn. I mean, we talked after the VCU game, and in that game, we kind of summarized the 3 games in the Bahamas. And one of
Yep.
the problems that we said is this team down the stretch just loses their shit.
Yeah.
And we were hoping that they would be able to, step away from the Bahamas, take the time off, use the 2 bye games to kind of reset themselves and hopefully correct that. And they just haven't done it.
Yeah, I don't know what's 4507 plus 348 or whatever it was down the stretch today when they
Yeah.
didn't score a basket. I mean, I know both teams really struggled down the stretch. I think I saw they were like 1 for 10 from the field in the last 3 minutes, but still, any way you want to cut it, this was just an ugly performance. I mean, I think for me the stat that stuck out the most, I know in the first half they were 1 of 12 from 3. Ended the game 3 of 21. So it's not like they shot much better in the second half. I was expecting things to even out to the mean a little bit. And definitely did on the West Virginia side because they hit everything in that first half. But the thing that was just crazy to me is the threes they were taking, they were getting wide open looks, and they weren't even coming close to the basket, Russ. I mean, it was air ball after air ball, brick after brick. They weren't even close.
This is a team that doesn't regress or progress to the mean in an individual game. Like if they're missing all their shots in the first half, they're going to miss all their shots in the second half. It's not like they're going to start falling eventually. And then, sometimes you have games like the Auburn game where they just couldn't miss.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating when everybody goes cold at the same time. But what's even more frustrating is when Polly and Hawkins are both unusable.
Yeah.
And yet they stay in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, I know Dan Hurley doesn't have many options here. He's playing shorthanded. I'm sympathetic to that. But it's not like he has no options. I mean, Rasul Diggins didn't see the court today.
No. I would say, though, Tyler Polley did at least give them, I thought, some benefits out there today. I know he had a nice putback at one point, played some decent defense, got called for a terrible foul where he blocked it. But I didn't think it was a complete zero out there. But Hawkins, to me, as good as he was in that Auburn game, he's looked just as bad the past couple of games as well. He looks kind of lost out there, which I know as a freshman you're going to have those periods, but from as high as it was at the Auburn game, it's kind of at the low end right now.
Yeah, the problem with Hawkins, I think, is that he lets his mistakes compound.
Yeah.
I mean, we said that after the Auburn game when he committed that turnover. And you still kind of see it when he commits a turnover here, and he hangs his head. And he's a little unsure of himself. But he's unsure of himself, and he also tries to go 100 miles an hour, which usually you don't have both of those things happening.
Yeah.
But it seems like Hawkins does sometimes, and he was unusable today, and he still played how many minutes?
What did we have here? I've got
28 minutes. And he had 2 points, 0 for 7 from the field, and 4 turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's not going to do it for you. Let's see. I know we've got a couple callers here. The chance of this working is probably equivalent of a West Virginia free throw, but let's see. Let's see what we can do here. All right. Anthony, can you hear us? No luck from Anthony there.
Anthony.
All right. Sorry, Anthony. Try being on a laptop or computer. It tends to work best. Let's try this one. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, we got one. Hey, I told you we were going to be like West Virginia, 50%. We got one of two.
West Virginia was not 50%, thank you.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So what are your thoughts here? What do you want to say about today?
I mean, I think kind of what you guys said before, but even though they're down Sonogo and Martin, I feel like every end of the game is the same, where it's like 5-6 minutes left and the other team presses and we just shit our pants. 100%. There was one moment in the game where West Virginia couldn't buy a bucket. We were up by 5. And then for some reason, we decided that we needed to run up and down the court and not even run an offense. We miss a shot. They hit a 3. We're down by 2. And I feel like it's the same thing we see over and over again, where like if you're a team, it's a close game. Like Cole, like for some reason, still picks up the ball when he's double teamed, like 30 feet
dribbles
away.
Backwards, yeah.
And like even we have a lot of like, I guess, the upperclassmen still, like Polly, Whaley, Cole, and it's like the same mistakes. It's like no composure. And I feel like it's just frustrating.
And Russ, I don't even think we talked about it, but there was that stretch. It was, what was it, like a minute left in the game where they had 3 shot attempts at the end there. Yeah. And Polly, who's here for his 5th year, jacked up a 3 like 2 seconds into the shot clock after getting the ball back, an off balance 3.
And there was
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and there was 2 times in that sequence where they had offensive rebounds and not one person decided to try to even put the ball up to get fouled or go for a shot. They're like, we got to kick it out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like frenetic.
Yeah, on a night UConn couldn't hit anything from 3, but was dominating in the paint.
Yeah. No, and it's just like, that's what I think worries about me is like even taking out the players, even adding in the players. I mean, yeah, maybe they win with Sonogo, with Martin, I don't know. But it's like, it's kind of the tale of like, what's going to happen. And like, they're going to play like, you got teams like Marquette, they're going to like press a ton. St. John's is going to do, like what Seton Hall is going to do. And it's just like, this is a thing where like kind of brings you flashbacks to last year in St. John's when they were up by 14 and then Hurley didn't call a timeout and they shit their pants again. So it's just like, that's the one thing where it's like taking a team that's like, I think we're going to be really good to that next level is like in the Big East, like you're just not going to get away with that stuff every night, 18 times a year.
No, and I do think like if I have to take one positive, maybe the numbers don't necessarily back me up, but from the eye test here, I at least thought for the majority of the game, they handled West Virginia's defense relatively well.
They did.
I was expecting after I saw that VCU game that they were just going to be throwing the ball all over the place. Then you take out Martin and Sonogo and 2 key guys there. I'm like, it's going to be a disaster against the press. And I know West Virginia is not as pressy as they've been in the past. But still, I thought for the most part, they did a pretty good job against it.
And that's what's so confusing about it, because you could say they did the same thing in other games too, but it's like for some reason when we hit that late time in the game, like everyone just clenches up and like they just ran so fast. Like that Poly 3, like I'm not sure if you knew how much time was on the clock or things like that, but like these got to slow down in a game where you can't shoot threes.
I think it's always safe to assume UConn has no idea how much time is on the clock.
There were like 2 or 3 times down the stretch too where they lost track of the shot clock too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just like
in front of their own bench.
Yeah. And you just and I just think sometimes too when you have someone like Cole, like he's doing as best he can, but like running it, it's just like, I don't know. It was just a game they should have won, like Russ said. It's a quad wouldn't lost, wouldn't hurt you. A quad would win on the road like that without your two top people, and that kind of gets you next level. Now you're just hoping you split with Bana as you go into the Big East. You know, that's the biggest thing. I think it's been pretty good so far. You split with Bana, go to the Big East, maybe you get Martin back for Pravi, and then see where it goes from there. But, well, enjoy talking to you guys, and have a good one.
Thanks for calling in. Yeah, no, a lot of good points there. And I think that probably echoes the frustration of every UConn fan right now is been this under 4 timeout and closing out games and just not being able to do that. I know we've been pretty negative here, but again, down 2 starters on the road against a decent West Virginia team. Russ, any positives you were able to take away from this game?
Well, I think we touched on it a minute ago. I think this team did show real improvement in handling pressure compared to the Bahamas. The last couple minutes notwithstanding. I expected a lot more live ball turnovers than we had tonight. So that was good. And, you know, I think while I was setting up to come on here, I really wanted to just start trashing Hurley for a lot. And there's definitely plenty to criticize him for. But, you know, the team looked better in that regard. And that's a reflection of how he spent the last couple of weeks. I don't know what he needs to do to get this team to play with more confidence down the stretch. Because that is really, I mean, that's the difference. Like, if I were to tell you that without Martin and Sanogo, by shooting 3 of 21 from 3,
you lose by basket.
That Hawkins and Polley are going to be useless, that they lose by 1 possession.
You would have signed up for it.
Like, that sounds to me like a 20-point loss.
100% there.
And sorry, another positive. UConn's defense for almost the entire game was awesome.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. It in all facets of it too. Another positive I'll take away, and I've been wanting to see it a little bit more consistently, is Andre Jackson starting to just get in the flow a little bit more. There were a few plays he does it a little too much where they'll get the ball out in transition and he dribbles it around his back, dribbles into 2 or 3 guys in the middle of the paint and tries to just do a little too much. But from an overall game standpoint, I've been looking for him to just do a little bit more on offense, play some good defense, get some good rebounds. And I was impressed for the most part with what I saw from him today.
So I had to look this up because there was a tweet that I think summed up Andre Jackson really well. And it's from Steve. So shout out Steve.
There we go, Steve.
One possession, Andre is a hybrid of Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Next possession, Andre is a hybrid of a rec league player and a cheetah. And like that, I feel like that just sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, no, it really does. I mean, at one point he's skying for these boards and starting to run a really nice fast break, and then next time he's dribbling into 3 guys going way out of control or firing a pass 100 miles an hour. I'm trying to think as we look through the game. I thought RJ Cole, he's been pretty good in my opinion, this first chunk of the season here, and I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen from him. I know the shooting again wasn't 100% there today, but overall as a guy leading the team as the point guard, I've been relatively impressed with him.
Oh, I have too, for sure. And I think coming off of last year, we were kind of wondering, Cole was pretty good, but he wasn't what he was at Howard. Is this, he's this big step up in competition, or was it that he didn't play for a whole year? And I mean, listen, no one expects him to put up the numbers he put up at Howard, but I think we're seeing more of that player this year now that he has last season under his belt. And, I'm looking at his numbers right now. They're not very good, 6 of 17 from the field.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about where the team is in this game without him.
Yeah.
I mean, not only did he hit those 2 big threes during that run when they came back and took the lead, but he was really a steadying presence when they needed it a lot.
And this was my one Hurley criticism from today. And I know you've got to get RJ Cole some rest, but he led them on that run. He hit back-to-back threes. They go into a TV or a little bit before TV timeout. And I know he's trying to buy him a little bit of time, but he left him out. I think it was from like the 8.5 minute or 9 minute mark, and he didn't come back in until 7:30. And that's when the game tightened up in that 2 minute stretch right there. I know you want to get him some rest, but when he's got the hot hand out there, I'm not taking him out.
Yeah, and I think we've seen enough of Hurley over the last few years to kind of know what his strengths and weaknesses are as a coach.
Yeah.
And his substitution patterns have never made a whole lot of sense. It seems like maybe he's too in his own head to really have a feel for the game the way that he should.
Mhm.
But that's just one example. And think back to the Bahamas when Hawkins had that awesome game and then disappeared
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
bench for a while. Like it doesn't make sense. I feel like he needs to trust what he's seeing a little bit more than trusting, what the witches told him in his pregame seance or whatever whatever it is that he does.
Another guy I do want to shout out for a pretty good performance today was Isaiah Whaley. I mean, I think when they've slotted him back in, and obviously you want Adama Sanogo playing, but when Whaley's gotten to slide back over to the 5, I think it's just really been beneficial to him, and his game's just gone to another level, I think, the past couple of games here.
Yeah, and if UConn is going to navigate this stretch without Martin and Sanogo, Whaley needs to be great.
Yeah.
And he was tonight, particularly defensively, which
Yep.
we've come to expect. Pardon me. But yeah, he was excellent. Wish he knew from the get-go maybe that the 3-pointer wasn't going to fall for him tonight. Had a couple ugly ones, but what are you going to do? I mean, overall, Whaley was awesome. I thought a Cook for stretches was really good.
Yeah.
I
He
can't.
had been a little soft in some of these games where he's gone up against some more physical players, and I thought today, at least at stretches, he went up, got some boards that I necessarily wasn't expecting from him, and showed that he could play in it. And it seems like he's responded, because it seems like Dan Hurley's really tried to push him and challenge him throughout these past several games here to pick it up and take his game back to another level.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy had 10 boards and a block that was at the time huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't get on him too much.
No.
Unfortunately, the one thing I'm going to remember from this game is the missed box out off of the missed free throw.
Yeah.
I mean, that's inexcusable.
Yeah. No, and it's a tough one to swallow there. I'm trying to think as we go down here, just looking at the minutes here. No, we didn't get a whole lot from Samson Johnson tonight. I know he only played 7 minutes, 1 rebound. It seems like that was it. He took 1 3.
He looked terrible.
Yeah, not the best outing for him.
I don't think I'm ever going to forgive Dan Hurley for calling him front court book night and getting my hopes up.
What's the tougher one, front court book night, or when I feel bad for Rodney Purvis for all the pressure he got put on his being called the Ferrari in the garage. I don't know which one's tougher there.
I mean, I'll always love Perv. So
I love Rodney Purvis. Slide. Yeah. But no, so tough one tonight. 56-53, West Virginia pulls out. As you're looking to see this UConn team match up against the Bonnies on Saturday, what are you looking over the next 48 hours for them to try to make some adjustments? Where are you looking to first?
Well, I said it a few minutes ago, and I'll say it again now. Isaiah Whaley needs to be great. Bonaventure has maybe one of the better big men in the country, especially one that you don't hear a lot about in Osun Osunniyi. He's going to be a tough task.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, Kyle Lofton is out. Lofton, a 20+ point per game scorer for Bonaventure.
I did see he wants to try to play Saturday, though.
Oh, can he not? Rest up, my man.
Yeah,
Rest
come on. They need you for A10 play.
Yeah. But first of all, I hope they take these next couple days and rest up.
Yeah.
I hope that they take a good look at the last 3 minutes of this game, I don't think this is one where you kind of say burn the tape and move on. I think there are some real lessons to be taken out of how UConn failed to execute down the stretch. And it's not just that they couldn't make a shot. I mean,
Right.
that happens. That doesn't bother me too much. It's things like the missed box out. It's having no idea how much time was on the clock
Yeah.
with that shot clock violation. And several guys passed up open opportunities there.
Right.
You know, I Postradamus mentioned it when he was on. It's, you know, RJ Cole picking up the ball 30 feet from the basket. It's stuff like that you can actually point to. And I think that could be a positive to come out of this, is that there are a lot of really good teaching moments. I just hope that they turn into learning moments as well.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I think at the end of the day, you'll look back on this game and while it definitely stings right now, at the end of the day, 3-point loss on the road at West Virginia isn't going to be a season-ending,
It's
you know.
Well, it's not, and the loss doesn't really hurt UConn, but the lack of a win might,
Yeah.
because committee looks at this game and they'll see UConn down 2 starters, and I don't think they'll knock them for losing this game. But if they had won, if they had picked up a quad 1 win on the road, I mean that could make a real difference. So, course of the season, you're going to have some opportunities that you miss. Maybe you steal a couple. But this was one in the missed opportunity column.
Yeah, I know it's always tough in a loss to do the player of the game here, but we've got to do it on the post game show.
Of course, it's tradition.
Exactly. So who's your wanky Yankee player of the game?
You know what? I'm going to give it to Whaley. I think you could. I think Cole probably had a bigger effect on the game when things were going well for UConn, but considering how Whaley struggled a little bit to start the year,
yeah,
and how he has stepped up in the last couple of games, I think doing this against a good opponent on the road was very big for him, and he was 7 of 10 shooting as well. So it's going to be Whaley for me.
Whaley was my pick as well, and one thing that both he did and some of the other guys did too, and they took advantage of it when the opportunities presented, was being able to on that pick and roll to really get to the rim. They were hitting those in stride today, and that's something you really want to see them be able to capitalize if those opportunities are going to come in other games this year. But Whaley again, just doing it a little bit of everything. Yeah, you mentioned 7 of 10. If only he hit one of those threes tonight.
Yeah.
There's the difference right there, right?
Out of those 18 missed threes, if just a couple of them go our way,
yeah,
this is a win.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it kind of cracked me up too that the only 3 in the first half was from Andre Jackson, who we know he certainly has struggled with his shot.
Hey, I mean that's another improvement from last year. Jackson. He's not a good shooter, but he isn't comically bad at it like he was last year.
Yeah, no. But at the end of the day, lose this one against West Virginia. You got some time to regroup and get ready for St. Bonaventure, which is going to be another tough game, especially down Martin and Sunogo. Is going to kind of be the pounding of the drum here, that not having these two other guys are going to have to step up and make some shots, which no one was able to do tonight.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the game?
I might be. TBD.
Okay.
You're going to be there, right?
Oh, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah. No, it should be a good one. I know the Bonnie fans travel well too, so it should be a fun one.
Yeah, I was on a St. Bonaventure podcast yesterday, and I said it there, and I'll say it here. I really don't think UConn fans know what they're in for when it comes to St. Bonaventure fans.
Yeah.
They're going to turn out well.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. Just early prediction. You think UConn bounces back against them?
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Only because I don't know how I'd handle myself if they don't.
No, I think it's a good opportunity for them to really bounce back with a nice quality win as you get ready for Big East play, because it's going to be tough to swallow 0-2 if you have this stretch and then have to sit on it for a week before you get Providence.
Yeah, especially knowing how UConn plays in conference openers.
Yeah.
Knowing their track record of playing Providence at home in
Yep.
Hartford.
Yeah.
Some
No,
bad memories there.
Fingers crossed. It seems like things have been a little bit on the more positive side when it comes to injuries. So you're hoping you at least get Tyrese Martin back for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly hope so. I know Martin was trying to convince Hurley to let him play on Saturday. I don't
Yeah.
think that's going to happen.
No.
But the fact that Martin thinks he could go on Saturday, it makes me hopeful that maybe he can go against Providence.
I'll just throw this out there. Whose injury do you think has a bigger impact on this team?
I think it depends on the game. I think today it was Tyrese Martin.
100% agree.
For sure. Yeah. I think on Saturday the answer might be Sanogo.
Yeah, to try to neutralize the bigs there.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. Sorry. So I just got I got the iPhone 13 Pro, and one thing I've started doing by accident is just turning my flashlight on all the time. So
yeah.
I don't know why I do that.
I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but I just saw a quote. Not sure I necessarily love this quote from Dan Hurley, saying that he's just worried with this group the way it's currently constituted of where we go with the ball on offense. I know it's probably a bit accurate, but I don't know if I love hearing that out loud.
Did he mean when he said the way it's currently constituted, like without Martin and Sanogo?
I'm guessing that's what he means and hoping at least, but
I hope that's what he means.
Yeah.
Because he is responsible for putting the roster together.
Yeah, and they had their chances. I mean, they're what? One of the only teams that didn't take in anyone from the transfer portal this offseason.
Yeah, I don't love that quote. I'm going to choose to believe that it didn't come out of Hurley's mouth the way he intended it to.
Yeah. Fingers crossed on that one. But Russ, as always, appreciate it. The venting feels good. I mean, been on here for 25 minutes or so, and I'm feeling a little bit more back down to earth.
I am too. This is a lot different from the St. John's loss last year.
Yeah.
Where after 25 minutes, I felt even worse.
Yeah. No, this is a game I mean, the thing is, the way things have been for UConn the past 4 or 5 years, at some point you got to just start winning these games. You can't really find positives after you've been hit over the head with them so many times.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win all of these games. They won the Auburn game.
Yeah.
They won the VCU game. VCU is a much better team than I thought they would be.
Absolutely.
Those will look like solid wins at the end of the year. Would have really liked this one. They'll have more chances at it. I'm not going to lose sleep over it as disappointing as it was.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel on it. Pretty much echo your thoughts there. Well, Russ, appreciate you hopping on post game. Both feeling a little bit better now and get ready for Saturday to go beat the Bonnies.
All right. Hope I see you Saturday.
Yeah. Hope to see you there.
Let me know. All right.
All right. Sounds